Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG Review Show. Oh, look, I said I got everything set up just right, except for the chat panel's not there. Look, the chat panel's not there. I need to get everything else right. Yeah, but we're here. We're all here. There you go. There's the chat panel. Good evening, everyone. It is us. We're back with the TNG Review Show. It is Wednesday night, and we're putting another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation into our vault. Joining me this evening are my co-hosts, Mazza McBob, Tavykins Turner, although Tavykins is not on camera tonight, but Tavykins Turner, and our Chief Sean. Good evening, everyone. No, Tavykins is poorly this evening, so she's joining us from her sick bed, bless her. So she's not going to be putting her camera on, but she's still here in spirit. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
No. But how are you feeling this week, Maz? Because it was yourself that was poorly last week.
I was a little bit croaky last week, but yes, I'm feeling much better this week. I was still rubbish on the weekend, but from Monday onwards, everything started improving, so that was good.
That is good news. That is good news. I'm having some technical problems this evening. My mic keeps switching off, and my second screen, which I'm broadcasting from, keeps switching off, and which shuffles all my windows around as it tries to go to one screen configuration. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know why that's just started happening, but I've checked all the connections. Can't see anything wrong with it. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Tavykins, how are you this week? Knowing farewell, you're not very well.
Yes, I'm poorly and exhausted because my two girls are also sick. So I'm full-time momminess while also
Oh,
sick has me on below E.
yeah,
She,
yeah,
she's a bit
There's
like the fumes coming out of a car, exhausted.
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Aw, thank you for this joke so early.
If you fall asleep in the middle of the stream and start gently snoring, we'll just delicately
Me-
kick you out.
If
Yeah,
there's any new
I
people
thought.
and they want a bingo card, please let us know. You
Hmm.
may be a few points up already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did. That was a conversation with the beard, my husband, before I was letting him know, like, sweetie, it's a data episode I got to. But I'm tired as all hell. And he's like, are you gonna pass out in the middle of it? And it's like, I don't think so, because I want to at least try to do the bingo. But
Oh.
you
Well,
guys can just dump me off of the live if I start snoring.
yeah. If it goes very quiet at your end, we'll know what's happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you. And Chief Sean, how are you this week?
Oh, well, thanks. Working away, working away. The bank I work for randomly managed to turn off all the balance checks on the machines last night, and all the online banking went down. And anyone who put a card into a machine got €1,000, whether the balance was there or not. So
Ooh.
there's videos around Twitter of just all these queues
Oh
of
my
people
God.
who have no intention of paying back, getting their €1,000.
Oh my god.
And that thankfully, what I do in the bank, it has nothing to do with me. It just have to. Yesterday, some of my systems stopped working, and I went, "Oh, that's odd." But it was part of a much bigger problem. But thankfully, it's nothing to do with the area I work in, so I get to laugh at the other people who it does affect. But it's going to be, if you're in customer service and everyone just put their account down €900, and then they get their money in next month and it's short, and they thought it was free money, and they're going to get it on the front end. I really hope and pray for those people they will survive. Just a small bit of news before we move on to the episode. Strange New Worlds finale finished on an up, and I don't know if you've all seen it, but
I haven't
minor
seen
spoiler.
it. I haven't seen it.
Okay,
no.
well, minor spoiler. It ends on a cliffhanger,
Oh,
and
right.
it was very good, but it ends on a cliffhanger, and the earliest we can expect the resolution of the cliffhanger is in 18 months. So
Ah.
that was a yeah. And the other small bit of news is Babylon 5, The Road Home, just came on. We lost Monty. Just came out. So there's an animated story with 5 of the original voice actors from Babylon 5. It is out and available, and it continues the story in canon. So we just lost you there for Monty. So yeah, any of you Babylon 5 people, you may wish to watch that. That's all the news I have this week. Star Trek Day is coming up in a couple of weeks. We will have more announcements then, but for the moment, there's nothing on the horizon until Lower Decks comes back on 709 Day.
We are currently making our way through season 1 of Babylon 5. We're about 8 episodes, I think, from the end of season
We
1.
haven't watched it in some time.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. I just
Yeah,
realised
well,
Data's still here from last week. Oh well, you can stay there.
Tabby says he can stay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And good evening to everyone in live chat. Good evening to Ruth. Good evening to you. Good evening to Stu Plum. Good evening to Mr. Tavi, the beard. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you are well and not catching the lurgy from the rest of your clan. Yes, no Wookiee yet, but yes, good evening to everyone out in live chat world. Don't forget to press the like button, and
Yeah, subscribe. The other thing.
subscribe.
Hit the notification button.
Get those second accounts up and going.
Sell your
Make those
firstborn
bots
children.
and,
Name your middle child after us.
Yeah. Get your
Put us as a
children to
beneficiary
subscribe.
in your life assurance.
Your grandchildren, their grandchildren, and
Yeah.
everyone. There's the plug for the day. There we go. We've done our YouTube duty. But today we are here to talk about TNG episode The Quality of Life. It's episode 9 of series 6. It's production number 40276-235. It was first aired in the US on the 14th of November 1992, and it's the 134th episode to be both produced and released. It was written by Naran Shankar. We have talked about Naran before. It's the second of 9 episodes. the first one being the
Isn't
first
Shankar
duty.
normally their technical person who writes all their techno babble and stuff?
I think he is a technical babble guy, isn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
But he did write 9 episodes. The first one was the first duty, that episode with Wesley at the academy and the crash and whatnot.
Yeah, he missed out on a payday on that one because they very nearly put Nick Locarno in as the character instead of Tom Paris, and if that happened, he would have got money for all of Voyager.
That's right.
So, it didn't happen.
This episode is directed by Jonathan Frakes. Jonathan Two Takes Frakes. This is the 5th of 8 episodes directed by Mr. Frakes. And we'll get on with it. Here is your first picture. They are playing poker. So
I love it when an episode starts poker.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's got such a nice feel.
And now,
go on, John.
I'm just going to say there is going to be a question on some of the props in this room. I won't say any more than that, so pay attention to the props in the screenshots as they come up.
Oh no. Sean is lighting up the bingo tonight. Yes, he's getting them all in there early. Look, he's going for records.
I will explain the reasoning behind why I said that later. But go on.
Okay, Riker, Worf, LaForge, and Crusher are playing poker in Riker's quarters, and they're discussing Geordie's beard. Yes, Geordie started growing his beard in the last episode. Crusher is not a fan of beards. She thinks they are an affectation in the same way women wear makeup. I don't think that's necessarily the case, personally. I kind of take umbrage with this.
That was the dumbest comment she did of the make. Like,
I think
this grows out of their face.
Shaving is more of an affectation because you have to put more effort into making yourself cleanly shaven than you do having a beard.
If you're like me, you can't grow a beard. It looks really awful once you get to...
Well, you can. It just you don't like the look of it.
It would be different. Like maybe
it's horrific.
If
My brother tried to grow one and it was horrible. Go on,
it would depend. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Tabby.
No, I'm done.
I was saying it would be different, Chief Sean, if you were in the future and somehow like growing beards was something that you went to the doctor to and just said, hey, can you activate follicles in this region because I want a lovely thick beard? Then she would have a point. But it's like, no, this grows out of their face.
Yeah, like
no
go to Turkey and get a beard replacement.
Yeah.
Not that I've got any particular preference one way. Oh no, wait, I've had a beard. I forgot about that. Yes, so yes, it's akin to women wearing makeup, she thinks. So, to make things interesting, Beverly bets that if she wins the next hand, the boys have to shave off their beards. They counter that if one of them wins, then she has to become a brunette. After thinking about it, Crusher agrees to their terms.
I don't know if you can see that, but that's my brother's attempt at a beard, and it's really tragic.
Hang on, let's put it big. Hang on a second. Which one?
Yeah, my brother, the one that's not my father.
Oh right. Oh, well, I was just thinking the beard looks pretty good. Oh, it's fake. That's a pretty good beard. What are you talking about?
That little bit of dust on his face.
That's fine.
It's all right.
That's all right.
It's just fine.
It's got shape. It's got shape, Sean.
No. I don't know. It looks even worse on me.
Yes. Before they can finish, Picard calls them to the bridge. We get a captain's log now, explaining that the Apprentice has just come into orbit of Tyrus 7A to monitor the progress of the Tyran particle fountain. A radical new mining technology. So far, the project has been fraught with problems and is well behind schedule. It looks pretty good. I quite like the shots of the Enterprise, like orbiting the particle station. Looks pretty good.
I don't know how they did it specifically, but yeah, as I said, it looks decent. That the shots are well done.
Yeah. I think Ruth's right. I think she doesn't remember the beard thing at all, but she thinks she just had like a row of aces and just wanted to.
Yeah,
they
felt the need that they had to keep mentioning it in every episode. He grew a beard, even when he did it the season ago. They had to keep mentioning it in dialogue.
Yeah. So, in the station, LaForge has been assigned to evaluate the situation with an eye to this technology being used in Karama 3. He quizzes the project lead, Dr. Farallon, and he doesn't seem impressed with how they are progressing. Farallon has developed a side project that will help them get back on track, and is keen to show Geordie what it is.
Well, at least she can be. If he's not so impressed, then he's not going to get all creepy.
No,
female
she's
scientist.
Up and
I know.
Yeah.
There's a female lead scientist who's like, I'm in there. I'll take that job. I'll take it. I'll go alone.
She damn near wanted to. Yeah, she damn near wanted to lick Data's face when she met him. Oh, there.
Yeah. We got some nice modern prop examples in here, like this particle accelerator like thing in the background that was in Star Trek.
I love
2
how they
and 5
even appear in Lower Decks. Do you ever see the clip of Shatner in Airplane 2 going, "What are these tubes? What do they do?
Yeah,
they must have a purpose."
Yeah, it's the same ones. They're all over the place.
They break the fourth wall completely.
Yeah. Yeah, they're used in Knight Rider and all sorts of things. Buck Rogers. I think they're in Buck Rogers and all sorts of things. But there we go. We've seen them many times. And these things here, there's 2 of these panels as well that they're standing around at the moment. These were like replicator things in an episode. I can't remember which one, where they go to a room and can replicate things upon request.
Oh, they have like industrial replicator room.
Yeah.
You only see it in one episode. I know what you're on about.
Yeah, that was those consoles that they're standing around there.
Yeah, because it just for bigger things.
Yeah. So there we go. Geordie's there, trying to get it on. But then the station's rocked by some kind of malfunction, and Data reports significant power fluctuations in the power grid. Geordie thinks they have to shut down the power grid, but Dr. Farallon has another idea. She wants to show off her exocomps.
Terrible name. They should have taught her. Terrible name.
Terrible name.
Exocomps.
Exocomps, yeah.
Well, they were originally going to be called metacomps, aren't you?
Why?
Metaphorical computer or something.
Very
I was like, well, I'm not breaking down the way that their meaning with that word. Like, why did they choose exocomps? Like, what?
That's never explained.
It just sounds dumb. Anyway, I'm done.
Well, it's Exa,
Oh,
isn't it?
metamorphic computer. Sorry, metamorphic computer. They changed it to Exo.
You see, if it was
it
Exa,
was
that would
changed
make
when the legal
sense.
department discovered a real life company by that same name.
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought anything associated with these things are just destined to have really stupid names, like Peanut Hamper.
Well, I said if it Exa, that would be like Giga or Mega. You know, it would be referring to the computational power. But what does Exo mean? External? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exothermic.
Yeah. She sends one down a conduit tube, and it quickly fixes the problem. Data asks how they accomplished this task so quickly, but Geordie isn't sure how. And that's how we end the teaser.
That'll do us. What am I have to do with my questions?
Question time.
So, teaser question: In whose quarters aren't the crew playing poker? A Worf's, B Beverly's, C Riker's, D Geordie's, and that's why I was asking to pay attention to the props, because there was something there that would have answered that question to you. And in relation to getting to the problem, how many bulkheads did Geordie say they'd have to disassemble?
Oh, crikey. How many bulkheads?
2 guesses. Let's see where that gets us. Ew. This was just the
All
teaser, wasn't it?
guesses for me. C and the multiple of 3.
C4. Oh, C4. That's quite.
That's a bit violent.
It's a bit violent. It's a bit
C4, C3, and
explosive. A bit
C5. So
incendiary.
you've definitely divided people on the bonus question. So originally the title of this episode was going to be The Underground Circuit, which was written by L.J. Scott. So it got obviously changed. And originally, apparently before they sort of, rewrote it for the teleplay, the intelligent devices were going to be something like talking wall terminals and household appliances that had all the charisma of a central heating unit. But obviously they changed that significantly. It wasn't a talking thing, and it wasn't just like a household appliance. But so the concept did change quite a lot. The poker scene was added because the episode was running short. So they actually added that late in the process. As we mentioned before, Levi Burton was growing his beard for his wedding. As you mentioned, Sean, they didn't mention that when he grew it previously, but they did in Fistful of Daters. People suggest that maybe he eventually did lose his poker game to Crusher because he shaves it off at some point. During the opening scene, there was a bit of discontinuity with Crusher's cards. It started off as a 7 of clubs, then it went to like a 10 of hearts or diamonds or something. It changed to a red card, and then it changed back to a 7 again, black 7. What else? Dr. Farallon was named after the Farallon Islands off the coast of San Francisco. And we just the name of the exocomps. That's it.
The exocomps themselves were. Where could I saw it here somewhere. Just talk amongst yourselves a minute. Yes, there. They were reused in Enterprise as another device. There's an exocomp on its back.
I don't know what that was.
It was the dead stop.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
They're also, obviously, the exocomps are seen again in season 1, episode 10 of Lower Decks.
Stupid peanut hamper.
Yes, they're sweetest.
Stupid.
Yeah, well, they're in Lower Decks, or Peanut Hamper's in Lower Decks twice, actually. There's a very bizarre episode, the second episode, where it falls to a planet with bird people and
Like the
ends up in a relationship with a man with wings and uses the holographic beak thing to do stuff. It's weird. It gets very, very weird.
It is. Good evening, Karen. She probably can't hear us. She's on the Hoe. She's on Plymouth Hoe with the rest of my family this evening, watching the National Fireworks Competition. At Plymouth, we have the National Fireworks Competition every year, where fireworks companies get to show off their displays and compete to be the champions. So, they got some live music and a fair thing, and it's going to be like 50,000 people down on the Hoe there watching fireworks.
Nice.
So,
okay, I think we've had enough time there, and I didn't do this on purpose at all, but it's actually C4. That was a complete accident on my part. I don't know how I keep doing that.
So what we got?
It
we
wasn't
got
on purpose.
We got Stu Plum, and we got Ruth.
Absolute accident. Anyway.
Stu Plum.
Has Wookiee showed up yet?
Not yet.
Wookiee's
But
not
if you're
watching, so do we have Wookiee on the board?
No, Wookiee's not here, so
He can't be on the
Oh,
board.
okay.
he can't be
He's
on the
not
board.
Sorry, Wookiee.
There we
Yay.
go. Right.
I can't lose points.
No, you're lucky this week. You're lucky. Let's spin that wheel. Oh, he's here. He is here.
Wookiee's here.
Well,
Oh,
Ruth.
Okay,
no.
well, it'd be wrong to take Ruth's points away, so
Yeah, well, I won't-
we'll only
I
have to
won't,
do it for the next spin.
We'll add you for the next spin. I'll put you back on. There you go. Here you
Lovely.
go. Wookiee's back on. We'll put that for the next.
We just didn't know you were there.
He's just arrived. He's just arrived.
Oh, sorry. The one thing I didn't say is, that should be obvious because everyone got it right. But the way you could tell it was Riker's quarters is because you could see a trumpet.
You could, yeah.
I don't know. I was like, I know it wasn't Worf's, and I felt pretty sure it wasn't Bev, so it's kind of between the other two, really. I just guessed.
So, Act 1. Data greets Dr. Farallon and Geordi as they beam aboard. It turns out that they have studied each other's work. They instantly get into a deep conversation about Data's neural net performance speeds, and Geordi is left holding the exocomp in more ways than one and tries to herd them towards engineering. Poor Geordi. Once in engineering, Farallon removes the exocomp's outer cover to show off its insides.
What are the insides?
Ooh, I know. It's like...
Oh, my.
Farallon explains...
What are the insides, do you know?
I don't... Well...
That nose section there apparently is the...
There could be a question. Could be a question. Could be a question on that.
Oh, shut up then.
Right.
Move on.
I don't know what to say about it now. Farallon explains how she took a common industrial servo mechanism and enhanced it. Geordi marvels at the Beridium power converter and the axionic chip network. He thinks it's all very, very impressive. She also built a mini replicator into its nose so it can replicate any tool required to get the job done. I wonder what else it could replicate.
Have a relationship with a bird person.
Could, yeah. They theorize how you would fix an antimatter flow converter, and Data says he would adjust the converter with a mode stabilizer. They program the problem into the exocomp, and it indeed replicates a mode stabilizer on its nose. The micro replicator is more than just a toolmaker, though. It's tied into its memory and creates new network pathways for every problem it comes up against. They become better tools the more they learn. Yes, it's a trombone.
My mistake. Oh, I said trumpet.
Yeah.
I said trumpet, yeah. Trombone, excuse me.
Trombone. Yeah. That's the one. You might have noticed a theme with some of these pictures tonight. I don't know if anybody's noticed.
Is everyone blinking in them?
They all got their eyes closed.
You might know it's a theme with tonight's pictures. It took me hours. Right? Later in the ready room, Dr. Farallon is pleading for another 48 hours to prove the particle fountain concept works. She plans to use the exocomps to work on the project to accelerate its progress. Initially, Picard is not very sympathetic, but after hearing her pitch and with Data and LaForge's approval, Picard finally agrees. Farallon, this is as close as I could get to a blink for Data in this scene. Farallon asks Picard if she can have Data to work with her, and Data says he welcomes the opportunity. On the station, they put the exocomps to work. So far, Data has completed 14 separate tasks with an exocomp in the past hour, and that it would have taken 2 people 9 hours to complete. He characterizes its performance as excellent. Though, to be fair, if Data's on any team working, compared to like 2 humans, he's going to be a lot faster anyway, isn't he? Do you think? Like, how much of it is the exocomp, and how much of it is Data himself? I guess we'll never know.
Mysteries of the universe.
Data more or less, I suppose, calculated it himself, so I'm presuming he removed that element.
Yeah. Okay,
he didn't instruct the exocomp what to do, but the actual work, if he'd instructed an engineering crew to do, he would have done it, two of them over 9 hours versus him in 1 hour. So I think that's what he was getting at. So, Data puts the exocomp in the next conduit for the next job,
But the exocomp flies back out and sits on the floor. You can't tell, but in this picture, that exocomp is blinking. Just have to trust me on that one. Farallon tries to command it back into the conduit to finish the job, but the exocomp refuses. Then it overloads its pad, so it can't be issued any more commands. The conduit then explodes with rocks.
Nice junk ball reference.
They're very bouncy rocks.
There you go.
Well, they claim it's insulating foam or something like that to make a reason for it to be there.
And that was the end of Act 1.
Oh my.
Oh no, not that one. There you go.
You definitely could have used that for my comment for the exocomps, because technically doing the job meant they're fully functional.
Yeah.
Wookie asks, is Geordie deaf or blind in real life, or did he just fake the first edition? No, he's very, very much seeing normally. He was already famous from Roots as playing Kunta Kinte, and from reading Rainbow before the show, he was the most well known. So absolutely, they knew that. But he is named after a fan of the show called, I think it's Jordan LaForge, who was a paraplegic who came to all the early conventions. And he died shortly before TNG came on, and they named the character in his honor. And they made him disabled in his honor to show that you can overcome difficulties in life. The question, sorry. So question 1, which part of Data's brain did he recently modify to be bi-directional? A, Buzzard collector. B, interlink sequencer. C, structure integrity field. D, Heisenberg compensator. E, Data's big dong. And 1A is, what component did the exocomp not repair? So what we were sent in to repair something, what didn't he repair? Or they not repair?
I don't know if I have that.
I'm going to completely guess. It's a bit of a guess.
I don't know. I do not know. Anyway, so in the first scene where Data meets in the transporter room, he smiles. Some
He
people consider
does.
that a goof, but I guess it's just him trying to mimic human behavior, right? Just
Yeah, we'll go
unusual
with
to
that.
see. Jonathan Frakes praised the actress who plays Farallon. Farallon? Yeah, it's Farallon. Dr. Farallon. Ellie Bry praised her performance. He said, unlike most actresses, she was really able to handle the language of, like the technobabble and stuff, even though she wasn't sort of used to it. But she handled it, just as good as all the regulars who do it on a daily basis. We don't want to talk about the insides of the exocomp. There was some bug on the lens, which is fine. And in fact, I think I've got a comment which applies to the next act, so I'll save that one until then.
There's
not a great deal from this act.
Data smiling in the transporter room.
Oh, I love it.
He's looking very lore-like there, isn't he?
I know.
That's why she loves it.
God, nice.
Tavikins is lying in a bed fanning herself at the moment. Yeah.
Oh.
Rocks.
Okay. Rocks.
Yeah. And that's not the exact same set they used for the Genolan and a couple other science labs around this time. A strange bit of a redress. The colors they used, it looks kind of, no, it is, but it looks kind of Romulan. But
It does look kind of Romulan, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
I
they
thought so.
strange use of colors, and particularly the transporter doesn't look like a transporter. I know it is because they've used it in other episodes for the same thing, but whatever way they dressed it, it looks pretty bad. Well, those round things usually have lights in them. Those spheres.
Yeah, they usually has
those
like
circular bits.
bowls, don't they? Like
Yeah.
plastic bowls
They have
over them.
like bulbs, and they taking them out and using them as corridors or conduits was a genius bit of set design. Particularly, it's right in the center of it.
Answers to the Act 1 questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was the interlink sequencer, or B, and the component was the plasma conduit. So plasma leak, I suppose, is fine. Plasma inducer.
Plasma inducer and plasma
Something with
conduit.
plasma.
Yeah, I'm sure those are all fine. Yeah.
Plasma.
So everybody, but not me and Stu Plum.
Not you and Stu
Monty,
Plum.
Ban, Ruth, Tabby, Wookie.
Monty, Ruth, Tavi. Let's give you a capital there and give Wookie a capital. There we go. I got too many capitals. I don't want that capital. All right, is that it?
Moonty.
Monty, Tav? No. What? No. Tavi. There we go. Okay.
You're right, Tabby.
Oh, she's hanging on in there. She's hanging on.
I'm feeling,
We're
I'm
about to
feeling
get you,
icky.
we're about to get you some more points, Tavi, so don't worry. Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah, it's Ruth's night tonight, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, I stand corrected. Like a man in orthopedic shoes.
Tavi!
Hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, Tavi's not well, Wookie.
Oh,
Oh,
the wheel
Tavi's
is
poorly.
sympathetic, and it's a data episode.
Yeah.
I'm sick, Wookie. That's what's wrong with me. And I'm knackered because I've been taking care of 2 sick little girls nonstop and working full time until yesterday. So I'm wiped out.
Not well.
Bless
Yeah,
her. She wasn't going to come on, but she still came on. Bless you.
Yeah, it is a bit of a data episode. He gets his robot children, he gets his robot girlfriend. He has a good little time of it.
He does. By the way, has everybody got their blood wine this evening? I've got white blood wine, courtesy of
I got
Hardy's.
some yellowtail.
Got some yellow
I've
tail.
bit of rum and soda here.
Rum and soda.
I have some hot tea brewing.
Oh, nice. Soothing.
Let us know what you've got this evening with the TNG Review Show. What is your poison this evening? Have you got blood wine? Let us know in chat.
Do you have homebrew, Stu Plum?
Does Stu Plum have some
might get.
homebrew? Okay, so Act 2 then. Act 2. Let's get that picture up. Yeah, I love that shot there. It's quite nice. The Enterprise, the space station. He's got homebrew IPA. And unusually, this act opens with a second officer's log, with Data telling us that he is greatly puzzled at the unexpected behavior of the exocomp, and that they have brought it back to the Enterprise for further investigation. They find that the interface circuit to its control pad was completely burnt out, but not damaged anywhere else. And the number of new circuit pathways has increased by a massive 632%. A lot more than is generally expected. Farallon says she has seen this before. Sometimes they generate lots of new pathways and eventually shut down. The unit has to be wiped and started again. Data isn't sure in this case, as the pathways do not interfere with the original circuitry, but Farallon dismisses it. As far as she's concerned, all hope for her project is lost. Geordie offers up some engineering teams to help out, but she seems completely defeated. After Farallon goes, they discuss the accident and that it was down to a microfracture that was indetectable with their instruments. Geordie reckons it's lucky it malfunctioned at the time it did, or it would have been destroyed. Data asks Geordie if he's implying that this had some form of self-preservation, but Geordie laughs the idea off as being silly. Geordie gets called away, so Data takes the exocomp to his quarters for further study. He finds that the interface circuitry has now been repaired. Data also finds that the exocomp burnt its circuitry out on purpose and then repaired itself again 2 hours later. Meanwhile, Geordie finds Farallon in 10 forward enjoying a tea before getting back to work. Geordie tells her he has assigned 2 extra teams to help her out, and he's sorry that none of her projects are working out. She guesses she's moving too fast, taking too many chances. But she's dedicated 6 years of her life to it, so she's determined to see it through. Maybe because she spends time like in 10 forward drinking tea instead of working. Maybe that, you know. You got a few hours to prove yourself, so what does she do? She goes 10 forward for some tea.
Pretty sure it's not tea she's generally been having. She's just trying to keep up appearances.
Yeah, I mean, look at her. Like, she doesn't look old now.
She's got a thirst for something anyway.
Yeah. In sickbay, the doc is treating her own injuries that Worf inflicted during Batleth training, with the doc telling Worf she almost got under his guard. When Data enters, Data asks her what the definition of life is. It's a big question. Beverly thinks that life's consuming food, deriving energy from it to grow and adapting itself to its surroundings and then reproducing. Data's like, what about fire? Fire does all those things. But the doc says fire is just a chemical reaction. And then Data says, what about me? He doesn't reproduce or grow. He's just Data. The doc tells him, well, he's unique. Data wonders what the moment was that separated him from the assemblage of parts on Dr. Sung's desk to the living being he is now.
He doesn't reproduce. Has he forgotten about Lal?
I'm about to say, didn't he have a daughter?
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I just wrote in there he mechanically grows. He's been updating everything, and his system is constantly evolving. So it's
Yeah,
like
he also says he feels alone in the universe when Laura already exists. So
I know. He's just forgotten about his bro.
it's like Picard in Picard going, "Oh, Data always wanted a daughter." What?
it's like I guess you are going senile.
Chewie's like, there's nobody else in the house. Can you come play with me now? Because I'm bored because there's nobody else. Sorry, dude. I'm busy. I'm busy on the internet. Yes. So, next picture. Beverly tells him that the scientists and philosophers have been struggling with this question for centuries. But it's the struggle that helps define our place in the universe. She doesn't think she's been much help, but Data says that she has been and thanks her for all her help. Back on the station, LaForge is putting the extra teams to work when Data arrives and tells them to stop using the exocomps. He believes they are alive. So there we go. There's a lot of happy faces in the chat there.
Those
I
are
just
fleshy
appreciate-
faces.
Oh, is
The
it?
effort you managed to get both Data, Farallon, Geordie, and the Exocomp all blinking at the same time. That's a piece of work.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Mm.
It
The
took
what?
me ages. It took me ages to find the ones with the most people like with their eyes closed. It really did. It really wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth the effort, but I did it anyway. Sorry, that was the end of the act, and it's
Oh my.
Oh. question time. Keep pressing the wrong button.
No, if you saw what Wookie wrote, you definitely thought that was appropriate.
Okay, so
Being
question 2.
naughty.
Is he being naughty?
Which model parts are used in the Exocomp model? A. D7, B. Ubearth, C. Miranda, D. the Deredex.
Lyrics.
Ba-do-do-do.
And
Which parts were used in the exocomp model?
yeah, which model parts? And what did Beverly say was a big question? That one is slightly easier.
Well.
Oh.
Putting what parts?
Yeah, which model parts from a model kit that they use to fit it out?
Jesus. I'm no.
They kit bashed it basically.
Did they?
Well, some of the innards. I mean, well, there's famously
it?
the Romulan nacelles they put a few blinkies in one of those and used them as a scanner in a heap of episodes, for example.
Oh, where's the that? There was a better. Come on, get. What?
You know, I read this fact and I couldn't see. Where
I've
the
got
parts
it.
Were,
I've got it. I've got the
Oh,
answer.
okay. Oh yes, I can see what it is now. Yes.
I hope that helped everybody. Did that help? Let me know in the chat. Did that help? Yeah. And definition.
So Data says, "What about me? I'm alive." But is that technically true? I mean, he is a machine. He's been classified as sentient, and to have human rights.
Well, you have to be alive to be sentient, don't we?
No, you don't actually.
So a sentient computer is automatically alive, even if it's a machine and doesn't have any organic bits.
No, you can be sentient, and I think it's sapient that requires a combination of life, but usually it's sentient. Is like, I believe the definition is usually backwards. Like self-awareness is sapient actually, but sentient is where you are capable of intelligence.
Ah. Okay.
What else? One of the rare episodes where we see the blinds open in Crusher's office. We did mention that, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 episodes back.
Yeah, it's about the second time. I didn't actually show a picture of it, I don't think, but it was around here.
After they sit down at her desk.
Yeah.
And she sat down, and then you can sort of see it behind her.
Somewhere.
Further,
Come on.
further.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
You can see the corridor in the background. I think this may be the last time we see them open.
Oh, right.
I think one of them.
What else? Oh, yeah, we've mentioned it's seen again in lower decks. Naran Shankar said that the whole premise of this led to a lot of conversations among the writing staff around, artificial intelligence and, what is being alive and all that kind of thing. So as well as echoing that kind of philosophical thinking in the script, it's what happened in the writing room as well, which is pretty cool. Although he admitted that some of Data's positions were weak, kind of whether you can apply the same things to bacteria or unicellular life forms or, fire and, life in terms of what they're talking about isn't just like fire or single-celled organisms. They're talking about, it's more sentience they're talking about, isn't it? Not somebody being alive.
Yeah, being able to self-determine, I think, is what they're referring to more than anything.
Yeah, that's it, especially with the survival instinct element. What else? That's about it, I think, for that act.
Thank you.
All right. Sure we have enough time on the questions there.
Yes.
So, yes, it was. I was hoping to catch a few people with Obert, but I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. But yes, it was AD7. And Beverly said the meaning of life, basically, or definition of life. Just anything in there is fine.
Yeah. So, myself, Tavi, Maz, Ruth, and...
Stewplum.
Living Stewplum, yes. I'll put Stewplum in there.
Oh, yeah. Ruth.
Right, I think that's everyone. I think. We shall spin that wheel.
Titering.
Whoa, stop.
Oh, fix.
Well done.
Is it?
Well, I
Fix,
think it's
fix,
first time in 2 episodes I've got a spin.
Well done, Monty.
So I'm happy. Okay. Act 3. We're motoring along just for Tavikin so she doesn't stay up too late.
Don't speed up on my account. It's a lovely show, and it's Data. Give it all the time it's supposed to have.
It's Data who's asleep in the conference room. I mean, come on, Data, wake up. Stay awake, man. Because...
I was just going to say, did they repaint the back wall? Because they used to have those Jushy outfits used to be purple, didn't they?
No, don't think so.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, sorry, please continue.
A lot of the technical babble there. Jutty outbits.
The Jutty outbits. Yeah, the Jutty outbits I've never really understood why they appeared.
Got to be a manifold, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, I know why they put that wall in, because they can take it out and put it in easily, so they can redress the set more simply. Because the other one was far more complicated and it was more permanent. But that just plugs in and plugs out, so you can redress it in moments. I think that's why. But it's damn ugly, and it's not as nice as the old version.
It's not as nice as the old one.
But when they did These Are the Voyages, they had this set stored. This is the only set that they stored from TNG. They actually held onto it. And as a result, they were able to shoot on the proper set. I don't know what happened to it since, but I imagine they trashed it somewhere in the last 20-odd years.
No doubt. They do tend to.
But they did keep it for
Wookie says he's worked hard to have his name on the board, on the wheel. He's worked hard at it, so he deserves to be there. Yeah. So,
Wookie, you're in a very feisty mood this evening. Lots of naughty comments there. We've got flashlight components.
Yeah, flashlight components.
He's sensing your weakness.
He's just proved that by his last comment as well.
Are you trying to get me all livened up?
He says, Maz, I never tell you how much I like staring at your pointy outfits. I'm sure he's talking about my maybe my earpieces or
your
oh God, move on. No.
I like your
Is this
pics.
what happens when we don't have a mod?
Yeah.
We're
modless. Right. Picard summons the senior staff to discuss Data's theory. Dr. Farallon is attending reluctantly as she's not happy that this is impacting on her ability to get her particle stream up and running. Data outlines that he thinks the exocomp saved itself from destruction and deliberately burnt its own interface. It then repaired itself when it was safe to do so, showing an awareness of its environment. Farallon thinks Data is anthropomorphizing them. Yeah, I got that word right. She thinks they are just malfunctioning tools. One exocomp entered a reaction Once, one exocomp entered a reaction chamber and vaporized itself. Is she supposed to believe it was depressed and killed itself? More than likely, that's
possible.
That's
I mean,
actually,
have you
that's
seen that little
forcing
thing?
it to do things it didn't want to do.
Oh no! So it just
like
killed it. In the end, it killed itself.
It's like if I reach sentience, if this is really all my life is about, I'd rather just check out. No, thank you.
Well, I mean, that would be a sign of sentience. I mean, no, I don't think of any other animal that
Self-determination, right?
Yeah, deliberately ends it all. You know, I can't think. It's not a thing that's done.
Oh, yeah.
Lemmings.
That's about the goddamn sorriest story I've heard so far on this show.
Yeah. No, certain animals do it when they're reproducing. Like octopus will do it. They know they're not going to make it. They just don't eat, and they protect the eggs, and they just die over their clutch.
Yeah.
But that's more their cycle of life rather than making a conscious choice, I think.
Well, they are sentient enough, at least octopuses. They do know.
Very clever octopuses.
They are supposed to be.
Oh, well, actually, yeah, they are, supposedly.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Troy wonders why she's finding it so hard to believe as she's talking to Data, a living machine himself. But Farallon doesn't see it as the same thing. There's a big difference between Data and a tool. Data points out that there's a big difference between Dr. Farallon and a virus, but they're both still alive. Picard decides they have to examine the possibility of life. After all, the Enterprise's mission is to search out new life, no matter how ridiculous Farallon finds it. He tasks Data to test his hypothesis. Geordi thinks they can threaten the exocomp's life and see what happens. So they reconvene in a Jeffries tube, and Geordi simulates a plasma cascade failure. He has also set up a fake plasma overload that when the exocomp detects it, it should then exit the tube and return to them. The exocomp enters the tube and starts the repair. It then detects the plasma overload and goes to leave, but then changes its mind and continues the repair. Back at the group, Dr. Farallon initiates smug mode and is like, "Can I carry on with my work now? Yes, everyone, many thanks," and leaves. Later on, Beverly visits Data in engineering. He's conducting more tests. In fact, he's conducted the same test 34 times with the same result every time. He thinks he was probably wrong about the exocomps after all. He liked the idea of being less unique in the universe. Just then, test 35, the exocomp arrives without being called. Because Data, for all the other tests, had issued the return command. Data also notices that the tool has changed and the exocomp has fixed the plasma overload warning whilst it was at the repair. Data and Crusher realized that the exocomp didn't fail the test, it saw right through it. That's the end of this act. With another question time. I will say one thing. I will say one thing with this act. The Jeffries tube there. That you see, he goes off out of sight down this Jeffries tube at the other end of this very, very, very long Jeffries tube. The problem with that being that it's in engineering.
Yes, so yeah.
Just off the side of engineering. I mean, literally to the door
That would
behind
extend into
you
the
on
warp core.
on the right. It would have gone into the warp core and through where the lift is on the side of the warp core compartment. So
yeah, they didn't think that one through.
They didn't think that one through at all, did they?
Although it is nice they start to show this junction. You do see a lot more in Voyager, and although to move further back, but they that they had that wasn't always there. That you could just walk into a Jeffries tube.
It was a turbo lift.
Yeah, it makes much more sense for it to be a Jeffries tube. All right, sorry. Question time. Anyway, which number test? On which number test does the exocomp recall itself? A34, B35, C47, or D74? And previously, Beverly mentioned tricorders aren't alive. But when do we see a talking tricorder? In which Star Trek adventure might you see a talking tricorder? I will say the talking tricorder had a little bit of help.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. I only got it because of the...
Yeah, it's not lower decks or some sort of hallucination. That's not
Yeah.
That's what I was putting in, something with lower decks. Now you just ruined my bonus. I don't remember that in Generations, though.
Yeah.
You don't remember...
Data.
You've said it now. Data's like, oh, look, Mr. Tricorder.
Oh. I get it. I remember that scene. But I didn't get it, so...
Yeah, I kind of threw that in for you, but never mind.
I'm very sick, Sean. Very sick.
Sorry. Hard luck.
Hello,
Geordi.
Hello, Geordi.
Carry on.
It's a talking tricorder.
Yeah, Bookie
I'd
said
say you
he'd
must
like
have
to
had
see the
something stuck in his
Jeffries tubes a bit girthier. Would make it easier to get in and out of. They did have like standing ones at one point, didn't they? Or at some point in the future, I can't remember.
You do see them in Voyager episode Good Shepherd. Yeah, that is extended down. You
Yeah.
can stand in them, but they're just as narrow, so you can hit both your shoulders off it. Captain, I detect no signs of intelligent life. Well, as I said, the Picard era tricorders.
Right.
The Picard era tricorders are just Galaxy Z flip phones. So if you want a real tricorder, just get yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z.
I've got a I've got 3 dogs here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you still have Karen's.
Did you make the wrong sound effect and get them all worked up?
I don't know. I think they're sat upstairs looking at the window, waiting for Crystal Karen to come home. So I think someone might have just walked past the house.
Oh.
Yeah, when you have a couple of dogs, once one yips, the whole lot go. It's just.
Bear with me.
What have we got? Let's have a look.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So Troy is wearing a new
35 and Mr.
hairstyle.
Okay,
Troy is wearing a new hairstyle again. So she obviously had like the short bushy thing around the head thing going on for a while. That's now changed. First time we've seen this one, and she'll have that for the rest of this season. The first time the exocomp goes into the Jeffries tube, it comes out and switches its tool off. The subsequent times it doesn't. Not that matters. It's sentient. It can make decisions. It doesn't necessarily have to follow a pattern. And the exocomps were increasingly anthropomorphized as the story passed through several script writers. Originally, they were going to look like little shoeboxes. And then, they ended up looking like, as described here, footballs wearing trainers. Yeah, and apparently the little sort of dips and hesitations in movement were gradually brought into it, whereas it was just initially some beeps. And apparently Jonathan Frakes was responsible for that. That's all I have for Act 3.
All right, and the answers was so it was B35, and yes, it was Generations. It was the scene on the Amargo's Observatory with Data playing with this tricorder, calling it Mr. Tricorder and having his little back and forth game. Although, judging by the way Monty there was trying to do it and he couldn't do it, I guess he had a little bit of help. There must have been a little thumb thing underneath it.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's quite a difficult thing to actually, because it just wants to close all the time. You have to kind of. I don't know.
I'll have to look at the scene. Maybe they put a latch in it to force it open, so he can force it closed, or they put a little loop under his thumb to make him do it. Because
it's my tricorder, though, everyone. I'm hanging like my tricorder.
Set your faces to stunned.
Monty, can you write bubbles on your tricorder with the numbers? I don't think so. No. Right. So,
everybody
I think he meant boobies.
B?
Like with a calculator.
Yeah, like
baby. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
Boobless. Boobless. That's what it was. Yes. Go on anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. So 3 people got Generations and 5 people got B for the answer. So if Generations was correct, then that's Monty Brown, Mazza, and Ruth for this.
Monty, Mazza, and Ruth. Oh, Maz. Okay, I am spinning the wheel.
No Wookie!
Mazza! Very cool. Very cool.
Aww.
Yes. Thor.
Her legs and her hips look great in that shot, though. But her head looks like super huge compared to the perspective.
Yes. Yeah, Thor was out in the garden, I think barking at a cat that had tried to come in. So apologies, neighbours.
Yeah, well, as we've previously covered, Gates did a lot of. Gates was a professional dancer, and I think she kept up the dancing to keep her fit during the show as well. So yeah, she has the leg of a
Tidy.
dancer, which surprised to nobody.
Choreographer of such films like Labyrinth.
Yep.
Stu Plum says, "Woof woof,
Woof woof.
woof or woof."
Okay, Act 4. That's a good shot of the station. In the captain's log, we learn that Picard has agreed to tour the station and assess the situation personally.
I just love the. Sorry, before we move on, I just love the scale of the station, and I mean that saucer is probably about the size of the Enterprise's saucer, and the whole station is just one room.
Yeah.
The size of a small flat.
Lots of equipment, lots of equipment. The Farallon tries to paint a picture. Everything's now on track, and they should be close to getting some results by the 48-hour deadline. But then, disaster strikes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. The particle emitter is surging and is causing radiation to leak into the station, and Picard orders everyone to evacuate. He informs the Enterprise, though comms is difficult because of the increase in the radiation. On the bridge, Riker declares a red alert and readies the emergency transporters. That's probably the greatest picture I've ever put on the TNG Review Show, I think.
What's going on underneath that horseshoe? Who's down there giving him a whoop, whoop? Someone's giving us some attention right there.
That's
my
his
goodness.
happy face.
He's going to Funky Town.
Oh dear.
He's like,
Oh my.
okay, so Picard beams the station's crew back to the Enterprise, but he and LaForge stay behind to rescue one of the station's staff, Takenta. Geordi tries to pull him out, but unfortunately he is already dead. It was quite easy to capture this guy with his eyes closed.
They're dead, Dave.
Because he's dead.
Everyone's dead, Dave. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead, Dave.
They're all dead, Dave. Dave, the dead, yeah.
Red dwarf.
On the Enterprise, Chief Kelso finds that the radiation is now preventing any more transport, so Picard and LaForge are trapped on the station. And Data reports that it will reach fatal levels within 23 minutes.
You would think they would be able to, like, at least go to a replicator and create some sort of suit that entire ship has no sort of spacesuit where you go outside and do external fixes. I just thought that was very unfeasible, that they just wouldn't have anything at all that would at least help them walk out on the surface and kick off into space. Track them.
Yeah, or not even escape pods, or just just general escape pods would do them.
Yeah.
Or, they just like pew away. I don't know what. Yeah, there's a couple of minor holes in that respect. That
they took a bit of a shortcut building that place. I guess she was in a hurry to get things going. I was like, oh, no escape pods. Then nope, just get going. Got to get the project moving on.
Well, I mean, Andrew.
It's in orbit of a planet, so I mean, even actually, that thought did occur to me. Even the ISS has a permanent escape module on it. There's like a Soyuz rocket that they that it's up there that's never coming down unless they're unless it's on the film Gravity, but unless there's an emergency, it just sits there, and it's only for an emergency to get them home if the whole station explodes that they have a way off it.
Yeah,
so if we have that now, how do they not have it 400 years in the future?
It's not a Soyuz rocket. That's the thing that takes it up there. It's
but there's a re-entry module of some description. I don't know what it is.
What's it called?
You see it in the film Gravity. Sandra Bullock hops on the ISS just to steal it to get back to Earth. But it is there. It's
Soyuz.
A real thing. So there is a re-entry module.
Soyuz?
Is it just a Soyuz capsule?
Is it a Soyuz capsule?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is that what it's called? Is it a Soyuz capsule? Hasn't it got another name? I thought it had another name.
I thought that movie was really nice. I got like seriously tensed up watching it. Like, this is the first time that kind of movie for me to see was done in a theater. Trying to survive the vacuum of space and get to some place as simple as back into the atmosphere of Earth.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. So the crew return vehicle, or CRV, is dedicated lifeboat that's attached to the ISS. Oh no, sorry. The proposed one. That's not what it has at the moment. Sorry, I probably should have read the article before.
No worries.
Please keep going.
It's a soy sauce capsule. Yeah, look, he's right. Yeah, there you go.
Soy sauce.
Yeah. So yes, they got 23 minutes. They got 23 minutes to go.
In the case of the Enterprise D, Wookiee is asking how many escape pods. Probably about 4 times as many as they need, because that ship is huge. So there's absolutely no shortage of them.
They got loads of them. There's little square dots all over the saucer section. You can see them.
There's enough space for 4,000 people. There's only 1,000 on it, and 12,000 in emergency. Although there wouldn't be enough lifeboats for 12,000. But there's basically far too many.
And they have suits.
Well, they do.
And suits, and shuttles, and runabouts,
transporters,
and those inspection pods that they have, for flying around the ship, the little B-drill things.
Little things.
They have loads of things. It's fine.
Yeah. Wookie wants an exact number, Sean. You're just not doing your research here. He wants specifics. This is a TNG review show. God damn it, we don't do vagaries.
We need quality, Sean.
I don't have the technical manual to hand right now. So.
It's in my dining room. I'd have to go grab it.
Apparently 400 on the Enterprise D.
Okay, so on the station, Geordi creates a force field that will hold the radiation back for a little bit, but it won't last long. On the bridge, Data's picked up the fact that Geordi's created a force field, and they think about ways they can shut down the particle stream. Riker thinks firing a torpedo at it might do the trick, and Worf's like, let's do that. Let's do that. No, he doesn't. But unfortunately, it would take... Sorry? Terry?
No, I'm sorry. I accidentally interrupted. I was thinking out loud. Continue.
But Data thinks it'd take him about 65 minutes to reconfigure the torpedo to make the adjustments to make it safe, which is obviously way too long. Farallon has an idea of using the exocomps. She can configure the Baridian power cell to explode, and they could beam them into the particle stream and then detonate them just like a torpedo. Data objects to that course of action and clarifies that he and Dr. Crusher, he clarifies what he and Dr. Crusher found earlier. I.e., they saw through the test and that it was still successful. Riker doesn't care, though, as it's the captain and Geordi's life they're talking about. Data's confident that whether he cares or not, the exocomps would not allow themselves to be sacrificed in this way. But Dr. Fallon thinks that she can disconnect the command pathways, essentially lobotomizing them first, and Riker says, do it. I think it's pretty mean.
So dark.
It's pretty dark, isn't it? Well, we've just discovered that these are a new form of life. We'll just unplug their brains, put bombs on them, and blow them to smithereens. And then he says, do it, which is kind of like Emperor Palpatine's catchphrase.
And I think he was doing the argument against Data because they were lacking officers. I don't think that was such a bad role for him. He's not so torn up here.
Yeah. Just as they're about to transport the exocomps into position, the transporter goes offline. They wonder what the problem is. Then Data admits that he's locked out the transporter controls. I didn't have a picture of Data blinking in this one, so I just had to choose the funniest face I could.
Wide-eyed wonder.
Yeah.
And once again, they wanted to hook him up to this ship and have him as a backup. I'm like, dude, just start turning shit off when he's in the damn mood.
Yeah.
Y'all sure you don't do this? Y'all sure you don't do this?
I just went down a bit of a rabbit hole when everyone's speaking, and would you care to guess over the lifetime of the ISS up to 2031, when it's due to be decommissioned, the cost per person per day, based on the amount of people up there, that the ISS cost. There's no more points for it. I'm just curious if you want to take a guess.
$150.
I'll go with $1 trillion.
Something with 50 in it.
No, well, 7.5 or 50 million per person per day. So yeah.
I think I misunderstood the question.
Yeah. No, if you divide the entire cost down by the amount of man days that are on the ship, it's 7.5 million a day per person. Yeah. Talk about the price of Airbnbs, huh?
I know.
So, oh, wow, crikey. Yeah, no, yes. It's Soyuz capsule and Soyuz rocket. They have the same name.
Yeah,
for
there's
two different pieces of
there's
equipment.
actually two different auxiliary crafts, so yeah, they can escape if they need to, basically.
Mm-hmm. See, NASA tends to call them different things, you know? Like you had the Saturn V rocket and the Eagle lander, and, you know, they tend to call their things different.
Yeah. And it changes every mission as well. Even though it's the same craft, they don't say it's the landing craft, the Gemini landing craft. It's like every single one has a different name for all 13 missions.
They probably change enough in it to actually give it a new designation.
Yeah.
And yet the Soyuzes haven't been changed since the 60s, and they were still using them up to recently.
It's question time, sure.
Oh, I thought it was a rambling alert. Sorry, okay.
No,
kind of both, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Or,
Shut up, Sean.
Okay. What is the name of the transporter chief? A. Cox, B. Dorian, C. Turk, D. Kelso.
I know the answer to this one.
And what is the name of the exocomp shown in Lower Decks?
I might have mentioned that earlier.
We said it several times, yeah.
So, one of the things I was going to say, I won't, or well, let's just leave him without any name. But the guy who played the transporter chief, I thought I'd look him up to see if he was in any other Star Trek. Actor named Jay Downing, but no, that was the only thing he was in Star Trek wise. So then I also looked up the lady who plays Dr. Farallon to see if she was in anything else, Ellen Bry, and no, it was the only Star Trek thing she was in as well. So it sort of led to dead ends a little bit.
Sorry, just before you move on, I was just going to say, in relation to the chief, quite often what happened was, because he did get quite a meaty role, he had a couple of lines there. So probably what happened was Chief Ryan was supposed to be there, but Colin Meaney was off doing another gig and he wasn't available. But they had already written him a couple of lines. So this random guy came in, because it seems like he has quite a big part. He gets a good few lines, but it's probably because it was written for Colin and he'd already committed to another gig. Sorry, please continue.
Naren Shankar said that originally the exocomps were going to be more like modular devices that get added onto existing tools, but that they needed to be alien in appearance and easily overlooked. But he didn't want them to be too cute. He didn't want them cute and fuzzy and everything. But then if it was really nasty and ugly looking, people wouldn't want to save it. So they tried to go with something, I guess, kind of quite utilitarian. The senior illustrator and technical consultant Rick Sternbach designed the exocomps. David Livingston recalls that he went through a large number of designs before they were approved by the producers. And it was loosely based on the character Nanmo from the animated series The Dirty Pair. I don't know what that is. Episode budget would only allow for 2 exocomps to be built, so there are some scenes at the end where there's 3 of them, the third being digitally inserted post-production. They were motioned by control rods and a puppeteer who was later painted out. And the exocomps were dubbed by Jonathan Frakes to be the little biggies. So it was like 3 little biggies That's what he would call them as he was directing, apparently.
There is one. There is one shot earlier where an exocomp goes flying up into a Jeffries tube, and but it actually goes through
Mute
the
yourself.
set.
Yeah, stream didn't hear that. You heard that, but stream didn't hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
we heard it.
Oh,
But Sean was
sorry.
trying to
Okay, I
talk
was about
over
to say, I was like,
not
what?
realising.
No, stream didn't
Right,
hear
sorry.
that.
What I was saying
The next
was,
time, Chief, just continue talking as if,
Sorry.
as if you
Yeah.
can't
Okay,
hear him.
there was a scene where the XCOM kind of flies into the distance, and I think it goes through the matte painting and keeps going forward. So I think it was a composite shot where they obviously
Yeah.
flew it off on a blue screen and then they composited it in. But you can't tell by looking at it. I can only really tell because the Jeffries tube set wasn't that long. But yeah, the effects were done reasonably well. Although, yeah, you can tell by the wobbling. Okay, they're claiming it's a real being, but yeah, it's being pulled around on strings. Let's be honest.
Yes, sorry, stream. I was just yelling at the dogs to shut up in not to.
Shut it! Is what we
it,
heard.
dogs.
Yeah, Michael Mann has a who's the lower decks guy. Sorry, do I have the quote here? He basically thought they were incredibly funny. That's why he set up 2 episodes about them, because he thought they were so goofy. He loved them.
They are it's a very goofy concept, but I mean it's
Oh, sorry.
not too.
Go on, sorry.
It's not too goofy in this episode, really. It's just a concept, but the lower decks do make it really goofy.
Oh, they take it to an extreme that Star Trek has never been to before.
Yeah.
It's way off the Rick and Morty scale.
It is.
Yeah, I have the quote here. And Mike McMahon, nice guy. You can chat to him on Twitter. He will respond to you. I love the exocomps. I think the actual model of the exocomp, the physical model, is somehow both ludicrous and insanely adorable at the same time. Because you can tell in the original episode they're being held up with fishing line. I had the artist design the way the exocomp moves and sway a little bit when she's on the fishing line. The idea of painting a Starfleet uniform onto a little XComp just really tickled me. So he just had a real just giggle with the idea. And he took it to an extreme.
Oh, I have to look at that episode again. They painted a little Starfleet uniform on. I didn't notice when I
Yeah.
saw
They do.
that.
It's blue, isn't it?
Yeah,
They
it's
paint
so
a blue
cute.
Starfleet uniform on it.
It becomes like a doctor or something, isn't
Yeah.
it? With scalp.
Well, yeah,
Do laser
nurse, I think,
scalpels
but-
and stuff like that really easy.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. I'd say we have enough time for the answers there. Yeah. Well, it was Chief Kelso, but can anyone tell me the reason why the answers I put in are the possible answers?
It had an
What?
algorithm it had the algorithm that generated the perfect name or something like that, and it came out with peanut hamper or something like that, wasn't it?
No, sorry, that's not what I was asking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she was looking for 2 words for cute or something like that. But sorry, that's not the question. I was just saying, in relation to the name of the transporter chief, the
Oh.
answer was Kelso.
Right.
But the answers I had there: Cox, Dorian, Turk, and Kelso. Can anyone tell me what they have in common?
Turk. Dorian.
Are those scientists? Current?
They're names of characters who played doctors.
Oh, okay, no.
They're from the show
Oh,
Scrubs.
right. Yes, they are from Scrubs. Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, because Dr. Kelso, they're all
Yes.
doctors on the Scrubs. And
Nice.
yeah, then a peanut hamper as we.
Crikey, I haven't seen that in a long, long time.
No, I mean.
Oh, it's a great show and it still holds up. It's fantastic. And your man who played Kelso played I forget his name. The guy who was obsessed with baseball, who was mentoring Wesley in one of the earlier seasons. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yep.
Oh, when I looked, it said 1 episode. I must have been mislooking.
No, not Chief Kelso. The guy who played Kelso on Scrubs.
Oh, right. I'm with you. Okay. Yes. Okay.
We know what you're talking about, Sean.
I'm with you. It takes me a while to catch up.
Moving on. We're into the last act. We're there
That's
already.
all.
Woo.
Sorry. Enthusiastic.
You need a little do clip. just
Oh,
for,
do I need to spin a
Well,
wheel?
countdown.
Do I need to spin a wheel? Did I spin a wheel?
Oh, yeah, you do. How many people got peanut hamper? Mazza, Montyban, Ruth.
I like the way
Stupler.
Stupler answered it like 5 minutes later, which tickled Wookie.
Nick, Paddywhack, give the dog a bone. Oh, is that just a suggestion for you,
Stupid.
Monty?
Is that everyone? Everyone then, was it, roughly? I think. Yes, because I was showing. So, yes, Sean was trying to get his words out a minute ago, and I was just screaming in his ear. And I kept interrupting him talking. But you wouldn't have heard it, so don't worry. Who's going to win this, then, this spin? It's going to be the very lovely, the very red Ruth. Congratulations, Ruth. You're the winner of that
Red
spin.
Ruth.
Red Ruth. Red Ruth. Oh,
Joe sung that song originally.
no.
Neil Diamond.
Ah. In the observation lounge, Riker is pretty pissed at Data, ordering him to release the transporter at once, but Data will not. He understands he's risking a court-martial, but he sees no other alternative.
You missed something in there, Monty.
I did?
You could have mixed when Riker asked him to set up the transporters. You could have said, "Computer says no."
Computer says no. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a computer, and he's saying no, so that's quite relevant. Yeah. So yes, in the observation lounge, Riker's pretty pissed at Data and orders him to release the transporter, but the computer says no. He understands the risk he's taking in a court-martial.
Yeah, they don't show that show on TV anymore. Too much blackface.
I know.
I don't feel that was well thought out. They were just canceling it because the big wave.
It'll probably come back and they'll just re-edit it to make episodes without all the blackface. But yeah,
I have it all on DVD, so they can't edit my DVD collection.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes, he sees no alternative. Data tells him he believes the exocomps to be alive. Perhaps his being a machine allows him some kind of intuition in this circumstance that others do not see. Data offers to beam over to the station and work on shutting down the problem himself. But Riker doesn't see that sacrificing Data... he doesn't want to sacrifice Data either. He doesn't see that it's any different between that sacrificing Data and sacrificing the exocomps. But Data points out that the difference is he can choose to do so, and the exocomps cannot. And a little light bulb goes off in Riker's head. Riker proposes reconnecting their command pathways and asking them whether they'd be willing to go and do it. And Data agrees that that is a good way forward. I know this is not Riker's eyes closed, but I quite liked his the way it looked like he's about to punch Data in the face.
His eyes should furl and his fist should blow.
Yeah.
And his fist be ever ready for a knockdown blow.
Very good, Sean. It was now worth putting that picture up on screen. I'm very happy with my decision to do so. There we go.
Did you change drinks,
Those were
Sean?
the two they did have. Oh yeah,
Did I win?
change drinks?
Have you changed
No.
drinks, Sean?
No, I'm just on the one. I have some homebrew. I can. Okay, I'll change drinks just to satisfy you. Hold on.
No, you don't have to. I'm
Just
checking the
go,
cards.
Peter.
Don't do it.
It's gone. I'm doing it. I'm going to take this opportunity to pour myself another glass of wine. So, you're going to say about these exocomps as we're on this picture, Maz?
I was just saying these were clearly the two that they did have. Cunningly, just two of them in shot there.
Yeah. So
Are they also blinking?
these are blinking. You can't tell, but yeah. They're blinking. With them command pathways re-established.
Like this.
Yeah.
This one might be a bit lively.
It is, isn't it? It's. Do you want a flank in that,
Wow.
love?
I didn't know which ones were cider and which ones were beer, and I pulled a beer out. Oh well. But it is a homebrew IPA.
Nice.
Looks good.
Nice.
If you like head.
I like. Well, That
No
really
comment.
is. You really do want to flake in that. With their command pathways re-established, Data programs in the mission, Data expects the exocomps will shut down if they're willing to go along with the plan. They do not shut down. However, instead, they rewrite Data's commands. They give the transport chief new beaming instructions and coordinates that are inside the station's core near the matter stream. Data realizes they are using their superior knowledge of the station to propose a better plan. Riker gives permission to energize. The exocomps siphon power out of the core. Initially, they have difficulty modulating the frequency, but they eventually get it. Geordi drops the force field, and they get beamed out of there. Kelso also tries to beam out the exocomps, but only manages to beam 2 of them back. Geordi realizes that one of them had to stay behind to disrupt the matter stream, and Data concurs that it was the only way they were going to save the other 2 exocomps. Later in
So I
Picard's...
can't remember. Is Peanut Hamper one of these 2 exocomps from the Enterprise, or is it just another random exocomp from the exocomp race?
It's not specified, but it's presumed that they start procreating on their own.
It's just
Yeah,
exocomp
because
race, yeah.
Peanut Hamper says what I thought was funny about her, she says she joined Starfleet just to piss off her dad or something.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very Peanut Hampery thing to say.
Yeah, and then they lock her up beside Jeffrey Coombs at the end. Good times.
Later in Picard's ready room, Farallon admits that she's been given a lot to think about and will no longer treat the exocomps as simple tools. No, she'll treat them as sophisticated tools instead. She hopes that in a year or 2 they'll be able to recommend the particle fountain to Starfleet, and Picard looks forward to it. After she goes... Now, you notice, look, serious part of the episode. I thought this was a serious part, so I used proper photos. The only time in the episode I use proper photos, take note, people. Later in... after she goes, Data explains why he risked the captain's life for some small machines. He calls back to when his own status as an independent life form was in doubt, and Picard had stepped forward to defend him. Today, the exocomps had no such advocates, so he had no choice but to step in. Picard understands and thinks that today Data made the most human decision he had ever made. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? There he is. That's what he should have looked like. And that's what Data should have looked like. There you go.
I appreciate you sticking to your stick the whole episode. Fair play to you.
There you go. And that's the end of our episode this evening.
Lovely stuff.
Beautiful.
Time.
Sounds like Peanut Hampered
I
lover.
have no idea. I'm
Okay,
gonna have
so-
to guessy wessy woo woo.
Yeah. Just say it out loud. What pips does Chief Kelso have? A, 1 hollow, B, 1 full, C, 1 of each, D, 2 full. And for the bonus question, in which episode are Data's rights put on trial?
So, not much Tribs and Goose for the last bit. When LaForge and Picard come back, I think LaForge puts his hand loosely on the transporter console, which wobble. Very sturdy, that is.
Whoopsie-doody.
And obviously there's a question about which episode they referenced. And then the last bit is that Shankar said it was a logical conclusion. He thinks there were nice moments with Data when you can couch something emotional within the framework of him taking a logical solution, becomes more moving for an android to kind of wrestle with his conscience and come to this kind of a decision.
I just put that picture there for Tavi because she's not feeling well, so I thought she'd like that.
Yeah. No blinky blinky.
And
No
of
bingo.
course, my mind is just dirty. I'm like, ooh, he's got a pretty mouth.
Old yellow eyes.
Oh, thank you. I'm closing bingo.
Bingo is
Oh,
shut. There we go.
oh, really?
Yeah,
I
bingo
haven't even
shut.
talked about Voyager or Deep Space
It's
Nine or
stopped now, Sean.
Enterprise.
It's closed. It's no good. It's gone.
You
Finished.
can talk about it all you like.
Yeah. There's much. Oh look, everybody's there's C C. I've gone A. I've gone different to other people. That's usually a bad sign.
No,
Yeah, it was
I
just
don't count me. I'm guessing because if I don't know, I just drop in C.
okay. It was one hollow A.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Um,
if it is C, one of each, they add them the wrong way around because the furthest one to his middle was definitely one black one.
Yeah.
So
No, it was A, one hollow. Yeah.
yes!
They standardized the chief thing by now. They had to stop messing it around at this stage. So it was one hollow, and yes, it was Measure of a Man, very much so.
So we've got Mazza, Tavi, Monty, Roof, and Stu Plum. Everyone.
So were you the
in
only one that
attendance.
got that question right then, Monty?
Yes, apparently so. Yes.
Wow. I think that decides the winner for tonight then.
That makes a bit of a difference, doesn't it? But we still got the bonus question,
Nice point.
and we've still got the quiz figures. Quiz.
Well, what's the point in having your own TNG review show if you can't win the quiz every night?
There's no bingo winners tonight, so that puts pay to that
Everyone
idea.
has
Bingo.
Oh dear.
No bingo. So many calls.
Yeah, I've got like one or two where I just needed one more, but yeah, no lines for me.
No lines.
Yeah, no lines, no four corners either.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I
Crikey.
forget about the four corners. I was looking for lines.
Right.
Well,
Good job you were checking for me.
I'm spinning the wheel. The wheel
Spin
is
the
spinning.
wheel.
The wheel is spinning.
It was spin.
Gonna spin. It's
Spinning,
gonna be
spinning.
as Stu Plum just nicked it from you there.
But I have a question. Why didn't you put me on the wheel?
Oh, I was probably not on
Why
the
didn't
wheel.
anybody say? Why are you saying that after I've spun it? Sorry, Stu Plum. We have.
Oh,
You can give him. You
sorry,
can give him his points, but let's see what happens
Steve
now.
can have 10 as well.
Yeah.
Unless he gets it again.
There's
Get
Roof this
Roof.
time. Yay. So yeah, Stu Plum and Roof, you can both get points. Double trouble. Double points. Yeah, there we go. So that's this episode. We're done and dusted. We're done with the quiz. We're just adding everything up. If you'd like to think about what you would give this episode out of 10, please put that in chat. Let us know. Let us know what you think of this episode and what you'd give it out of 10. Meanwhile, we'll count everything up, and I will get the spreadsheet, the magnificent TNG Review Show spreadsheet. Where is it? I've lost it. Oh, there it is.
I don't know what you've done with your spreadsheet.
I don't know. It's a 7.
What, got any other bits and bobs? Some reception-y bits and bobs? Some sci-fi purists thought the story would have been better if the exocomps had stayed as little boxes with no discernible affectations to make it more of a, challenge to the idea of the intelligence. Jonathan Frakes said it was a bit heavy on the technobabble, but all things considered, he thinks the show came off quite well. He was hoping that there would be a callback for the poker scene at the end of the episode. He also wishes that either Gates McFadden so at the end they should have either had Gates McFadden be brunette, or they should have shaved, just to sort of bookend that. That would have been cool and quite funny. XComp was modified for dead stock, which we talked about, and that was it for the bits and bobs that I had.
Cool. And the results of the quiz.
The results of the quiz. In first place by a country mile with 430 TNG review points is Montyban. So 10
Yay.
points on the scoreboard for you.
Oh, I still haven't corrected the scores. I will do that one day.
Next is Ruth with 330 TNG review points, so 9 points to Ruth.
9 points for Ruth.
Next is myself with 310 TNG review points, so 8 points for me.
8 points for you.
And then joint fourth is Tavi and Stuplum with 250 TNG review points, so 7 points each for them pair.
7 points for him and 7 points for her.
Oh, so you've pipped Stuplum from the bronze position.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Right, yes. I'll just quickly do the soar and that and B and that and that. Sorry, Stuplum. I've pipped you.
By the minimum margins.
By the smallest of small margins. But you know, the top the top 5 are only 10 points apart, so there's still scope in it for differences. You know, you never know. Tavikins could have been so poorly she couldn't have come on tonight, and you know that would have really turned things around.
Yeah, Ruth is coming after me. I gotta watch her.
Yeah, there's only 2 points in it at the top.
Yeah, that's basically 2 spins of the wheel and 1 wrong question away from a change in leadership.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
So our scores from chat are 7, 7, and 7, so they average out at a 7.
Wookie put in 9.
Oh, he put in 7.
No,
that
he's
was 9 because Ruth got 9 points on the scoreboard there. So you were saying 9 points, Ruth, you knew.
That's what
Okay,
it. Yeah.
7 today.
This
Bryce,
Bryce.
he meant Bryce. It auto-corrected. It auto-corrected. Yeah. Okay, so please, everyone get your Tavikins, if you want to put your score in chat. And
I did. I put it in StreamYard. Yeah.
Ah.
oh, did you?
Yeah. Sorry, no, it's too early. I was scratch. I just went up and scratched my face, and I went, "Oh, I probably should have shown that."
Okay.
Okay, nobody saw it.
Nobody noticed, Sean. Nobody noticed.
I did.
So, on a count of 7, 6. Why did I start at 7? 5, 4,
5,
3,
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 6. No, 2, 1. 7.
And an 8.
Have to give it
Tavi
an
gave it
8. Everybody else scores the exact. I don't think we've had quite such a consistent score ever.
No.
I was gonna say 7, but I just gave it a +1 because it was a data episode. So.
That's fair enough.
7.
I mean, I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. I didn't really remember it being quite as enjoyable, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's not particularly special. So yeah, 7 is a fair score.
It comes out at equal 3rd place in this season so far.
So far, long way to go though.
It beat the likes of True Q, Relics. It beat Relics.
Interesting.
Yeah. What did I give Relics then? 8. Oh yeah.
Which one did I give a low score? Was it a
Tavikins
0? Who did I give a 0?
Relics a 5.
Was it Relics?
You did.
No,
Or,
you gave
Rascals.
Rascals a 0.
Which one?
Rascals, the one with all the kids.
Oh my God,
last
Jesus!
week.
I'd already forgotten the damn episode.
It was only last week.
I personally think Relics
No,
deserves
Fist
more
of
than-
Datas was last week.
Fist for the Datas was last week.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, the week before.
Just the
excuse me.
best episode of the season so far.
No,
Yeah, well, we're reaching into a 2-parter.
no, I
Well,
gotta go and
2-parter next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
It'll be
start
a
having
long
arguments
one,
about
folks.
how many lights there are.
Yeah.
And Rod,
69 lights.
and
Ooh.
I there are so many memes of there's a guy who does
Yeah.
Captain Jellicoe on Twitter, and he does kind of dad jokes, and I can't even describe it. I'm gonna have to just get some screenshots together for next week because they're fantastic. But yeah, big two-parter next week.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very
It's
cool.
a good one.
Chain of Command Part 1 and 2. Yeah, that'll be next Wednesday at 8 o'clock on the Vault. Yeah, I think, we were in synergy with the audience tonight. Everyone was kind of a 7. And I think that's reflective of the fact that it's not a bad episode. It's not the greatest episode. It's a good little sci-fi concept.
Very good effect.
It's got good effects. I like the way it
Not
keeps you
bullshit.
guessing about whether they're alive or not. It's like, well, are they not? Is Data really seeing something that's there, or is he just, as the Doctor says, anthropomorphizing them? But then I think it's like, it's done nice and subtly, It's not in your face, oh, they're alive and flying around talking at the end. It's kind of like, it's life, but it's a subtle life. It's a subtle intelligence.
They need to explore it more.
Yeah. It's really quite cool in that regard. And I like the fact that Data just takes charge of the situation and just goes, no, you're not sacrificing this life form just because you don't understand it. It's very Starfleet-y of him. And Riker's a bit of a twat about it. But I like the fact he stands his ground, and he references the fact that Picard stood his ground for him, and he saw it as him doing the same thing for a sort of lesser life form. It's good. I like all that. So I thought it's very poignant.
It's a bit more subtle. It's not quite on the level of Measure of a Man, but nonetheless, it fits in well, and perfectly fine.
I know
Just
they're
not
up
amazing.
I know they're up for arguing or anything, but personally, like, to think that Data would anthropomorphize something is not something he would do because he's an android. And secondly, if I'm going to trust the inclination that a machine is alive when he handles so many freaking machines and tools, and if out of the blue, Data's like, I think they're alive, I'd be like, oh shit, they're probably alive. I mean, really, who do you think would know? Another machine. It's like, come on.
Yeah. It's
Give him a
like,
bit- give him a bit more.
Riker's like, you're willing to bet your theory on Captain Picard's life? And he's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. Baller move there, Data.
I don't know if all the episodes coming up are really memorable because they're really exceptional episodes, or is it just because I was at an age where I started to remember them better because I was kind of 9 or 10 years old, and I started to remember better the episodes I saw when I was 4 or 5. But yeah, this season coming up, there's so many real hits coming up. It's going to be a nice couple of months.
Yeah, it is. It's its stride, isn't it? This is at the point where Deep Space Nine has just come out, and like Star Trek is, I like it's popular now. It was like at its height of popularity, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze as a bouncer, isn't it? Of like a. Oh, hello. What just happened?
Different shows and films at the same time. It was all going on.
You back, Monty?
Oh, what happened there? Something.
Yeah, we have you again. I know.
Something went a bit wrong there. I don't know what happened. YouTube's telling me everything's fine, so that's good. I don't know what happened. But yes, no, Wookie, I've seen Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze as he's a bouncer, isn't he? Of like a like a bar for like bikers and things.
Bouncer. That's so good that fights don't break out.
Yeah.
At least you're supposed to avoid them. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't see that movie until I met Goodyear, and he's like, "You haven't seen it?" And I'm like, "No." Now I get to keep up. I've seen it. Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's a good film. Point Break. That's another good film. Patrick Swayze film.
Oh, my guy Goodyear, he actually was a bouncer for a very long time. He's very big and foreboding, especially the beard. And he liked that because his I guess his skill was not causing fights, but getting stuff to de-escalate before it became a fight. Not that it would have been a problem because he's literally a human door.
Yeah, well, I'm about a similar size to him, and yeah, that's kind of the irony of the whole situation. When a guy sizes you up, and you just calmly say, "Go, listen, lad, don't do it. Just, just don't do it. Like, no, come on. Why don't you just head off? It'll be
Not
easier for everyone. If you're big enough that you can just put your hand right down on them, and they go, okay, fine, then they just leave. It's great. You just calmly say, look, this isn't a good idea. Don't do it. I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Let's just leave it. Okay. All right. Bye.
I don't want to sit on you tonight. Don't make me do it.
Look, I don't want this. You don't want this. Look, you can come back some other night. Just head off.
Ooh,
Chippers
I gotta
open.
add,
Beat the queue.
gotta add my oh my moment. You don't know. That guy might be like,
Oh
if you do sit on
my.
me, if you do sit on me, will you sit on my face?
Yeah. No, I don't think Gujon's a dwarf Wookiee. We've seen him in the background. He's like a monster.
He's a lovely monster.
I missed my beard. I need to grow my beard back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
It's,
we're coming into winter,
It's
so
unsatisfactory.
you'll need your roughage.
my winter
beard,
coat.
insulation.
My winter coat. Yeah.
Winter coat. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our episode for this evening. I will say, just on a patriotic nod to the women's English football team. Good luck on Sunday, 10 o'clock Sunday morning, through to the final of the Women's World Cup. It's coming home, everybody. It's coming home.
You're claiming that?
Twice running, wouldn't it? If you did.
No, this will be the first time. This is the
Did they
first
not do
time
it?
they've been
I
through
thought
to
they did
the
last year.
Euros. They won the Euros last year. They're the Euro
Right,
champions. This is the first
Shows how
time
much I know about football.
first time they're through to the World Cup final. So it's the first time
nice.
England has been in a World Cup soccer final since 1966. So it's coming home.
Nice.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Whatever. Go, ladies.
Do you know,
Go, ladies.
do you know what's the great thing about
Yeah,
I love about England? You invent all these sports and then you let other countries be better at them than you.
Yeah.
Fun.
Rugby, New Zealand, cricket, India, football, anywhere that speaks Spanish that's not Spain, or even Spain.
Or Portuguese.
Yeah, Portuguese in that vein, or France sometimes.
Yeah. Or German. Anyone really. To be fair.
Yeah,
Just not English.
just invent all the sports, export all them everywhere, and then let them be better at it than you.
Yeah, it's good though, isn't it? It's good. It brings the world together, doesn't it?
In some respects, yes, very much so.
Like the English language. It's kind of like we're doing our
Yes,
bit.
in an ironic sort of way, very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, try to look on the upside. Yeah.
Well, it's too late to turn that clock back, but anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah. Yes, so thank you to Ruth and Mr. Tavikins and Stuplum and Wookie and Andrew for popping by. The lovely Andrew. Unfortunately, you didn't get on the wheel or the bingo this evening.
scoreboard? The bingo,
no points for Andrew. We wish LJ the best of luck, who's poorly again in hospital.
Bless him.
G-Star and LJ are going through the ringer again. So our thoughts and hopes are with him, and hope he has a speedy recovery.
Of course.
And also thanks to Kaz and Smiler for dropping into chat. So they're out enjoying the fireworks, which would have started about
Stuplum
25
pointed
minutes
that out.
ago.
I forgot to mention Stuplum. I wonder if that's why the dogs started barking at that time, about 45 minutes ago. I wonder if
Maybe.
maybe they heard it. They heard it in the air and started barking. That may have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Montalban, can you do something with Star Trek extras? There's got to be some good stuff out there. Star Trek extras.
Oh, if
Well,
you
like,
go on,
Sorry, go on,
I was
Sean.
just going to say, Monty, if you go onto Facebook and you look up Plymouth Live, they're showing the fireworks live.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They have it live on YouTube as well, yeah.
So you can give us a little display if you so
You
wish.
can escape if you want to, Tavi. I know you must.
Yeah, feel free.
We're not going to stick with it for long, probably 2 or 3
Let's have a
minutes,
look.
but it is there.
Let's see if I can find
Thank
it.
you, Wookie.
I can't. I don't know if I can find it. There
if
it
I
is.
just put it...
I got it.
Yeah, you should be able to share it, Sean, if you've got it.
Yeah.
no, sorry, he hasn't. As I said, if you just type in Plymouth Live into Facebook, it's there.
Oh, it's there. The Plymouth Live's media player thing is rubbish.
Yeah, as I said, I did it through Facebook. It's working
I'm
fine.
pretty sure they have it on YouTube.
there it
as
is.
well.
Oh, there you go.
I can't make it big.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it going on at the moment on Plymouth Hoe.
Oh wow.
There's like a pier that kind of goes into the water in Plymouth Sound, and they let them all off from the pier.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, that's perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Oh,
Even
yeah, look.
small, that looks nice. Look at that.
Do you know, there's something. Do you know when you get hit by the sound waves of fireworks? That's what makes it great. Well, you can actually feel the pressure waves coming off them. But yeah, it looks pretty immense.
There we go.
It's good. The finales are great, but they're so loud and big.
Yeah, I'll just leave that running for a minute while we chat, while we finish off
why
our
not?
saying our goodbyes and things. Plymouth Hoe is like Plymouth Sound is like the harbour of Plymouth. Really, it's like it's enclosed on 3 sides. It's a natural sort of harbour, which is why Plymouth became such a popular port. It's from like the Tudor period onwards. Why we got Devonport Dockyard. Devonport Dockyard.
Is that the Plymouth that Plymouth Rock is named after?
Yes.
Yes.
No, actually,
Is it not?
no, it's not. It is named after Plymouth Rock. Is it? Yes. So, yes, it is. Yes, but people think because the Mayflower left Plymouth to take the Pilgrim Fathers to America and landed at Plymouth Rock, but that was coincidental. It was already called Plymouth Rock when they landed. They didn't land and name the place where they landed Plymouth because that's where they set off from.
Wasn't there an abandoned colony? There was a colony and it didn't survive. They didn't have enough food or something in it. They kind of left it behind them or something. And that's what they landed.
There was a
something like
Viking
that.
one closer to the Great Lakes I heard about.
Yeah, there was. But what happened was shush! I need to shush you.
Oh, see, I can't hear him.
No, you can't. But the stream can. So what happened was the British, just to cement their hold on the eastern seaboard of the United States, they just went down in like every few miles, arbitrarily named a section of the coastline after an English city or port. So down the eastern side you have like, I don't know, Gloucester and Southampton and Portsmouth and all these like English town names, and it just so happened that they named that little bay there Plymouth, and it had a rock in it, so they called it Plymouth Rock. And it just so happened that the Mayflower left Plymouth, sailed to America, and landed in Plymouth.
Well, the first part of what is now Canada, they settled. They called it Nova Scotia, which is just basically New Scotland.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, the northern part, we'll just call it New Scotland because it's up north and it's cold.
Yeah, New England below it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I never really got
so-
to a New Wales.
But yeah, you know, I always thought it was named after because it left Plymouth. I always thought it was named after Plymouth, but
Alright.
it was
Now
named
we
after
know.
Plymouth. But yes, that's where we live, Plymouth, where the Mayflower sits. So we have actually just around the corner from where you see those fireworks go, we have what they call the Mayflower Steps. So the location in Plymouth Barbican where the Mayflower sets sail to the United States. And in fact, a few years ago, just before COVID, we had the 400 year anniversary of the Mayflower journey, and Smile a Rainbow was a part of Plymouth City's sort of council arranging celebrations for this, and actually travelled to Plymouth in is it New England or
I'd imagine so, yeah.
it's just up from Boston, isn't it? Anyway, but
Yeah, it would be.
yeah, she stayed with a family there and got to do some socializing and trading things, and they went to the I've forgotten what the indigenous people were called.
The Wampanoag.
Yeah, the Wampanoag.
Wampanoag.
Yeah, got to see their there's like a recreation of their camp and things, and yeah, it was all very interesting. She's kept in contact with that American family ever since.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the first time she ever had lobster roll. It's a sort of
Nice.
thing they eat there.
Previously, they just served the stationery, is it?
No dad joke.
Sorry,
I'm
it's,
sorry.
it's pretty awful.
Shh.
I appreciate it. I love dad jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Plymouth Sound, that body of water outside of Plymouth. It's like a big bay. They say Plymouth's the only place you can hear the sea and see the sound.
Well, I mean, Plymouth is probably more well known now, but there is a Boston in England too. So
Yeah,
lots of places. There's a Baltimore and Cork. It just
There are
lots
52
to do.
Plymouths worldwide, I think.
Oh, nice.
So it said on a poster in a train one time.
Yeah,
But this was the original.
there's quite a big one in Australia. There was it Montserrat? The capital of Montserrat, an island, is called Plymouth, but it got completely wiped out by a volcano in like the 1990s. Or was it the early 2000s?
But Montserrat has an interesting history. Sorry, it's too late for the Irish on the bingo. But the back in the day, apparently, I think like an Irish crew shipwrecked there or something, and like even though they're all darker skinned people, because the sailors are all male, all the names over there are Irish names. So like you the locals are called like Paddy McGinty and Seamus O'Flaherty and things like that. And they have like a St. Patrick's Day parade, and the St. Patrick is the patron saint of the island, and they basically have a load of Irish traditions. Even though Kinsale again, that's another town in Cork. Okay, Plymouth right beside Plymouth, but
So Plymouth was the capital of Montserrat, but in I don't know when it was. I think it was late 90s. There was this volcanic eruption that covered half of the city in lava, and it's all really unstable. So the rest of the city had to be evacuated, and it's now just all been reclaimed by nature. There's actually one old guy. There's one old guy that lives in it, but only one, and the whole place is surrounded by like fencing and is monitored by the army. You have to get special permission and an army escort if you want to go in and see Plymouth, because there's like an exclusion zone. Apart from this one old chap who just refuses to leave, so they've just given up on him. So he still lives there. Yeah. Poor Plymouth. That was it. There you go.
Love the American side of me loves the stubbornness of that man. This is my property.
Yep. Yeah, he's just not leaving Plymouth no matter what.
It's a really great Deep Space Nine episode that's just like that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
there is.
One of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but I know the one you're on about.
Wow, they're really analysing the technicalities of these fireworks. I didn't realise.
They do. For the first time, I watched this sort of program last year, and they do sort of preamble leading up to it where they talk about where all the different ones were sourced. They go through how it's all set up and staged on the pier, sort of inspecting how it all is. They talk about the mechanics of fireworks. So here they're saying things like, oh, those are those Chinese glitter ball thingies that we talked about earlier, and, sort of naming the different ones and where they came from around the world.
Well, I'm
going to shout now, don't freak out, Sean.
I was just going to say, I don't object to it being impressive. I think it's a lot easier to do this kind of stuff now. They probably have computer timed fuses, that are perfect. They're not like lighting timed fuses that are supposed to be 3 or 4 second fuses, and sometimes they burn a bit faster, a bit slow, or the wind messes them up. They can be a lot more technically precise than they probably could in the past. It doesn't change the fact that it's still, they're obviously pushing it to the edge of the technology.
Yeah, I think certainly the release of them all is definitely all computerized and stuff. But when I was seeing them talk through them last week, they were still saying, oh, you've got this, this bit fires, it goes up in the air. Then you've got this other.
You have to have a secondary burst.
What do you call it?
Burst, I
can't remember what you call the, like little bits of string that light. But yeah, you've got this other one which then goes into the center, and that's when it explodes, sort of thing. So I think there is still an element of that within the actual sort of structure inside the firework.
As best they can,
letting off the chance. Yeah.
Wookie thinks there's a chance we're still watching a Windows screensaver.
I remember that.
Yeah, but no, my wife is there watching it in person.
Yeah, I thought they might pan around the crowd. We could have maybe seen Smiler.
Yeah, we could have seen them there. Yeah. But shame don't get to see it this year. But I'd rather be here with you guys anyway. It's much better TNG Review Show.
I'm going to see it tomorrow night, so I've only missed half of it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
You should get Smiler to look after the dogs tomorrow night, Monty.
Oh yeah, I could suggest that. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I said at 9:30. I was like, "Jesus, we're finished off early. We never get out in an hour and a half." We managed to find a way to extend it another 40 minutes.
Chatted.
Oh, we're just chitty chatting.
Little bit.
Double parter next week. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
I look forward to having arguments about how many lights there are.
Wow, it's a whole nother discussion in it that we can have.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to load up some of them Jellico memes. They're fantastic. Yeah. And Tavi, you probably do know them, but if you don't know them, they're just all dad jokes. They're just.
I know all of them.
Oh. Yeah. The next one started. This is the final display of the evening. So there you go.
Oh, lovely.
It is pretty impressive. What you can't see is all these little white dots you see in the background here. They're all boats out in the sea because it's actually surrounded by.
I have watched this from a boat once. It was really bad because all of the hot ashes kind of cascade down on you, and you're staring up at the sky, and one of the hot ashes landed on my eyeball, and I actually heard it go, and
oh no,
it really, really hurt my eyeball. I sort of had a watering eye for about 4 days.
Oh shit!
It was really bad. I was going to Greece the next day, so it sort of really put a crimp on the first few days of my holiday. I was in eye agony.
That is not good.
I don't know that resort. Whereabouts in Greece is it?
In Crete. I went to Crete. It's a Greek island.
Oh, no,
I was in eye agony. Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Is that near Lesbos? Near Rhodes? It's okay. I make myself laugh. That's the main part.
Well, you know, us Plymothians hear the sea and see the sound, so there's no. Of course, our eyes can hear. It's obvious.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a seaside town. I live inland now, but I miss it because, Jesus, I hate frost. Yeah, there was no frost where I used to live. It used to be fantastic.
Salty air.
Yeah, it's slowed down,
Yeah,
isn't it? You know?
Well, A, salty air, and B, the whole town was on a hill, so the sun hit it no matter where you lived. So you're never in the shadow. You never got pockets of black ice. It was just the whole place on a hill. It was fine.
I think one of the things you need in a competition thing like this is you need a little bit of breeze, because we've had it before where like there's absolutely no breeze, so the smoke just hangs in the air, and eventually you can't actually see any fireworks.
It ruins that. Yeah, I can see what you mean with this performance. The dust or the cloud or whatever is obscuring what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's not too bad today. It looks like it's a slight offshore breeze, so whilst it's staying in that general area, it's just moving backwards a little bit, so it's out of the way.
Actually, in their case, I think it's working in their favor because it's sitting in the air, so it's kind of bouncing the light a bit better, if that makes sense. I don't know how they judge these things technically, but if there's not too much breeze, it kind of makes it look bigger because it's bouncing off the clouds, if you like.
There's probably several thousand people in Jennycliff over here that can't see much because the smoke's all going in their direction.
Yeah, well, that's Jennycliff. It's not Plymouth.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Who cares about those people?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's been quite nice. We've got to just enjoy the Plymouth fireworks with you guys live on stream. And the other
who knew
good
that
thing
was
is,
going to happen?
I'm not getting any warnings of copyright infringements or anything, so that's pretty good.
Can live with that.
That's nice.
But yeah, come to Plymouth every year at exactly the same time in the middle of August for 2 nights in a row. There's the British Fireworks Championships. So it's worth a visit.
Maybe we should stop by and visit you next year when the fireworks are going off.
Yeah.
You were talking about sort of springtime, but maybe you should wait till summertime.
It's a good time to come.
Smiley Rainbow's off work, the kids are off school.
Yeah. Although one kid will be working by then. Yeah.
Working.
Anna starts work on the 4th of September.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Exciting.
Very exciting.
Nice.
She's
So
been
she
practicing.
can pay rent now.
No. We're not going to charge her rent until she's 18. Apparently, I looked it up, and you can charge rent at 16 if you want, because they can legally leave home if they want to. But Smiler Rainbow doesn't want to encourage such actions, so no, I'm banned from charging rent. Yeah.
That's terrible. No, don't do that.
No.
They're still your babies.
Yeah.
And I think he's paid, your son at least has paid all of his rent with the intro. The Monty intro. Technically, you should probably still be paying him for his appearance.
Yeah.
His performance.
Those fireworks look like Pokeballs, you know? They kind of like was one color on one side and one color on the other side.
I realize this is probably against competition rules, but do you ever see like the synchronized drones they can do now? And they can
that's amazing.
They had one, and like they made an enterprise.
There should be a different competition for them, right? But Plymouth would be an amazing place for them to do it.
Well, you could even have ones that drone, but also shoot off fireworks from the drone, so you could probably combine them somehow.
I've never seen that.
I expected to see some drone fireworks tonight, actually. I thought it would be something we'd see, an innovation, but I haven't seen anything like that.
As I said, it's probably.
I mean, they
the
do.
rules,
Obviously, they do drone displays now as an alternative to fireworks. I've never seen the two things combined, but I'm guessing the rules of this is probably strictly fireworks, not drone displays. But Yeah, I've seen some amazing ones, like with the Chinese dragon going all over Sydney
Well,
and stuff like that. Just
well,
incredible what they can do.
as I said, over the Sydney Opera House, I saw, the shape, obviously it's not the whole thing, but the shape of the original Constitution Class Enterprise, that just made out of 40 drones flying across. See, you can do it, and it looks exactly like it.
Amazing.
You know what it is, exactly. You've no confusion what it is.
Wookie thinks there's a missed opportunity for the Russians to invade Plymouth because nobody would notice tonight.
Yeah.
Well, now they'll know. For
They
next
tried. They were flying in Scottish airspace there today or
Yeah, I
yesterday.
know. They keep probing.
really?
don't
The
they?
RAF. The RAF had to chase them off. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep probing. They do it like once every other week.
Yeah,
Something
they
like
do
that.
it with a boat or a thing. Yeah, sooner or later they get their arse handed to them, but not today.
No, not today.
They keep playing games with NATO. It's like, yeah, good luck with that.
Devonport Dockyard, back during World War II, was the largest naval base in Western Europe. It was bigger than Portsmouth. It was the biggest naval base in Britain, which is why during World War II, Plymouth was absolutely flattened by the Germans. We had nothing left. Pretty much all the houses in Plymouth are all from like the 1950s onwards because, everything was completely destroyed.
It was a really bad thing for our general city architecture because it's all really awful, boxy 60s kind of stuff. But never
Brutalism.
mind.
Well, Ireland was technically neutral during World War II, but the D-Day landings couldn't. There was a little lady of 22 in on the west coast of Ireland in Galway, and she was taking daily readings of the weather because obviously the most westerly land-based point, and we only found this out about 10 years ago, that was getting rushed across Churchill every day to decide the D-Day landings. So while we were neutral, we were feeding weather information to the British to let them know when they could set off D-Day. As a result, kept it quiet, but we helped them every way we could. We only got bombed once by the Germans. Accidentally missed the UK entirely, went up the Irish coast and bombed Dublin, or they thought Dublin was Belfast. I forget. Anyway, it was an accident.
No, that didn't help, did it?
I'm going to say good night, everyone.
night.
Yeah, I think it's that time of the night. Okay. Tabby, fair play to you for coming in and
Thank you very much for
delirious
coming
state.
on. Yeah.
Oh,
It
thank you
was,
guys for having me.
We
Y'all
didn't
were-
think we were going to be
Just
seeing
keep her
you.
crown.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
she
what it
had
was
to
all
keep the
about.
points up. She had to keep the points up. Okay.
As Wookie
It was more about data. But...
says, good night, Heavy. I mean, Tavi.
And then Tavy.
Tavy. Good night, Tavy.
Good
Night,
night.
night, everyone. Majram.
Majram. This is the grand finale. You can tell now, look, it's getting
Oh,
the
yeah.
big ones. Look, this is
May as well hang
Getting a
on
bit
for
bright,
5 minutes.
This
We've
is
been
a
here
big
bright
too
and
one.
long.
loud and big.
Bring
Ba-doom,
'em
ba-doom, doom, 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 doom. I
Yeah.
wish I was there.
Oh, darn it. Now I got to stay for the fireworks. Look at that.
Look at that. That's done.
I think that was it.
Done it. What a good finale.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't tell you. Can I just point out? I spent like €50 on the new Strange New Worlds. Or
Well, there we go.
Lower Decks
You
version.
did?
Nobody
Final
knows.
display tonight.
You spent what?
It's not the same one at all.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
different
it's a
one.
different one.
Oh,
Oh, it is a different one.
Yeah,
I thought
it's a
I
strange-
thought
it
it
was
was shiny. I
shinier.
didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I thought
No,
it
it's
was
the Strange New
shinier.
Worlds one. It doesn't show up in camera. That one.
Oh, I see. It's
Oh,
supposed to be the
it's
real
a
one rather than a
uniform.
cartoon one. It's totally
Yes.
too
That's why
subtle
you
for
didn't
me.
notice for 3 hours.
different. Yeah. I might wear my Monster Maroon next week because it's a two-parter.
I have
I might
I
wear
have-
my
I
Strange
have-
New Worlds Monster
I have
Maroon.
one other new one. I'll show you next week. Keep that as
You
a
wear
surprise.
your new one, and I'll wear my new Monster Maroon one.
Nice.
I'll give you a hint. I can live with it.
You can live
I
with it.
can live with it.
Oh.
Computer, delete that entire log.
Ah. What's this go?
Live with it. No, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the reference.
That's it's an episode where Cisco is doing like a monologue saying about how he orchestrated like a conspiracy with a
he was a bad
Romulan
boy.
and gave him it's a fake. That one.
Yeah.
Garrett and
And
assassinated this guy.
in the Pale by Moonlight, and just by absolute coincidence, I watched it this week as I was going through my order of Deep Space Nine. But that's just how those things work out. Or last week, one of those. Anyway, it's a good one.
Good one. Cool.
It's a fake.
Well, thank you, Wookie, for staying on and watching the fireworks with us. And we hope
thanks,
you'll-
Wook. It was just you at the end.
Yeah, it's just us and Wookie. But, I enjoyed that. And, we'll see you next week for the Chain of Command Part 1 and 2. Can't wait for that. See you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. I've lost my button. There it is. Found my button again.